listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Dee.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good. It's nice. Yeah. We're both in shorts.
I know.
Summery.
Going in from the hot humidity into like colder temperatures, though. I got a layer.
I really did that. Yesterday, like I said, yesterday I was saying that I wore a sweatshirt.
I know.
In the day. Right? And College World Series to boot. It's always like so humid at this point, but it's really nice. I'll take it. Yeah. I don't want no more juju. I don't want to jinx it.
Yep.
We were talking, well, before we get into our episode today, we were just talking about our daughters stealing stuff from our closets.
Yes.
Right? You were saying shoes.
Shoes, yes. Yeah. So my daughter likes just to borrow shoes or sandals, heels. She's tried heels, or I'm like, no, you're too young for heels.
Yeah.
But she just destroys. She just wears them down so quickly. And I was just saying how like I had these awesome new running shoes, the expensive like Hoka brand, like just the good cushiony good stuff, and she wore it to summer camp and just got like paint all over them, and I'm like,
I love you, but let's go over.
Not those.
Yeah, we would when Parker got old enough to wear my clothes and be interested in my clothes. I was like, okay, so I love you, and you're welcome to anything in my closet except this area. And I was like, one of these days you'll get to borrow some of it, but I was like, there's just no way. Like, I can't have you going to high school in like design, whatever.
Right.
But now she's like really appreciative of it. She's 20. So when she moved out and got her own place, and she's like, I need, heels for events for when when she's hosting those events at Connecco, or she needs this, out of the other. So we went shopping in my wardrobe, my closet, and she took a whole bunch of stuff. But it's funny because now she takes almost better care of some of the those pieces than I ever did, which is ironic because I was like so worried that she's gonna like ruin it. But she's just like, she keeps it really nice and ironed.
All right, I'm waiting for that age to happen.
Yeah.
When they get to that point.
It's nice.
Right now, it's just thrown on the ground and stepped on.
I mean, I still kind of have a floor robe.
I can't talk too much, but.
Right. No, Parker is like, she's like, because I did wrinkle release spray, which, by the way, that's like the best thing in the world. I spent a big portion of my childhood like having to iron my kilt for like school.
Yeah.
And we had real wool, like the real kilt. So they had to make sure it was pleated. And I was like, once they got that wrinkle release spray, I was like, oh, I'm never ironing again. Well, now Parker is like, oh, Mom, I've been ironing. It's like really nice. What else? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I failed as a mother in that part, not teaching iron. I was like, just over it.
No, like I just get a little damp and throw it in the dryer and be like,
we do that too. That's kind of nice. It's like,
lazy now, like since I don't have to like be in an office, ironing things. I'm like, oh, come on.
Right. Steamers
are good.
They work. Yeah. I have like that little one for styling on shoots, and I'm like, oh, I don't go anywhere without that thing.
That's smart.
It is nice. But going places.
Right.
We're kind of wanting to talk about day trips.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because last week we talked to Rachel she was in Nebraska City, and we talked about how that is like a very popular day trip. But there's so many other fun places.
There are.
To go either like as a couple or with friends or with the kids.
Yeah.
So,
well, just for time's sake or context, this is going to air in July, but we are recording this right after Father's Day. And for Father's Day, we went on a float trip, day trip, which was lovely.
So you guys have your own watercraft, right? So
so we did kayak and a tube. So we launched from Schramm. So we had two vehicles, dropped one off in Louisville State Park, and then hopped into one and then drove to Schramm and docked and got on at Schramm, and then Schramm Park, and then floated all the way back to Louisville, got into that vehicle, and then drove back and got the other one. But
that's smart.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a few minutes between the two driving, but we were on the river, like 7 hours, 7 hours. And we stopped. Oh, it was so great. First of all, it was really, really like not too fast. Like the current, it was a great day. It was so hot, but we stopped to get some shade and underneath a huckleberry tree and like devour. Like honestly, I was like, it's like we've never had like wild huckleberries before. Like I swear, we're like shaking the branches and like just like they're all falling.
That sounds awesome.
It was so great. It was really, really great. And we got to dock at like there's a lot of like the sandbars were visible and just awesome, you know,
hang out
yeah, it was a really, really awesome day, just totally relaxing. You know, we had just crudité, like little bites in our cooler so we could just eat whenever and
snack all day.
Yeah,
it's the best part of float trips.
It is. And like one of us gets to be on the raft or like the tube that was tied to the kayak, so kind of just lounging, and then whatever. We took turns. It was great. We did lose an oar.
Okay.
Human error, but we did lose an oar. But it was great. It was such a great day trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like those 2 parks you mentioned are good day trips.
Yes.
Like Schramm. They have the education center now. Have you been inside there since? I mean, it's been redone a couple years now.
Yeah, we talked about that. No, I haven't since they redid.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of, I mean, they still have aquariums and a touch tank, but they've got so much more now. Like if you have really little kids, they have kind of a play area where they can pretend to camp sort of thing and climb and slide down things. And then a lot of interactive things like touch screens to kind of learn more about the Nebraska ecosystem. So I like that. But Schramm also has cool hiking trails.
Yeah.
The suspension bridge is like the highlight to go find that.
Yeah.
And the architectural dig site where you can look for fossils.
I love that.
That's just like a little gem of a park that people kind of forget about. Like I hadn't gone since like elementary school days, and then revisited it with the kids. And I'm like, oh, this is so close to Omaha. And like,
yeah.
It's nice. And Louisville, we don't go too often, but like they have that, they have the beach, and now they have that inflatable obstacle course.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I haven't done that yet.
No.
Like I've done inflatable courses before. I haven't done the one there.
It's crazy popular because like when we went, there's a line to get in, and they have to limit it obviously for safety's sake. And, but once you get in, it's like an hour and a half. It's like almost too much time because you're exhausted by the time you're done.
Right.
But that's cool. Yeah.
I love that. And I do love that it's like interactive for the whole family. Like adults and children alike get to do that.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The kids love it.
Yeah.
Like I almost want to I was tempted to just tell them to go do it themselves, but I'm glad I did because it's a workout.
Cool.
And it's kind of fun. So, but yeah, a lot of our day trips are state parks. That are near Omaha, and we're lucky to have so many.
We really are. We have a lot.
Yeah. So Platte River State Park is probably our favorite because it's starting to get more crowded, but it's not like Mahoney State Park crowded, especially in the summer. So we'll go. That one we could bring the dog. We'll bring the dog with us and go on a hike. Yeah. They have a little more difficult trails, somewhat.
They do.
Definitely than Mahoney, but
difficult meaning more of a hiking rather than just a walk.
A right feeling, not just like a paved trail. Or, so it's not like hikes that you'll get in Colorado or even in like the Luss Hills of Iowa, but like it's good.
Yeah.
And they've got a little waterfall that you always have to do.
Really nice.
And the playground there is like our kids are getting so tall that they kind of don't fit on things anymore, but they still like to go run around there and do the little zip line, although they're like butts are dragging almost on the ground at this point, but it's cool.
Just like trying so hard.
Right? They're like, I want to
work your abs, keep your legs up.
So, like awesome. I want to try to do it, but I know I will definitely drag on the ground if I tried it.
Oh my gosh. I did that. It's funny because you're just like, you forget when you go to zip line, like how much, and not the supported, like not the, not ones that are really high where you need like the harness. But like, playground ones, but it's just like, you forget how much slack, like the difference between like holding yourself up and then slack. Like there's a, and you learn I do. There's a hard lesson. You're like, oh yeah, right. Like you just flip off or whatever. And then like, I can't put my hair in a ponytail for like 3 days after zip lining all day. Like in that sense, because you're just like, just using your arms so much.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But Platte River's got so much going on. Like, that's why we like it. I'm not a fan of like paddle boating, but they got the paddle boats.
Oh, I love paddle
boating.
boating.
Like the fish. So boring. Well, I think maybe if you're paddle boating with people who will paddle with you, but when you take the kids, sometimes it's just you.
Yeah, you're right. You're just like, oh, my legs are just,
Come on, please help.
Yeah. I do love stand-up paddleboarding. I go with some friends.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know paddleboat.
Right.
What you're
Paddleboarding's fun.
Paddleboarding is so fun. And like the yoga paddleboarding, and I love to just, plug in and just.
Yeah. It's peaceful.
Circle, right. It's really peaceful. And it's here. So I'll paddleboard up north. But here it's so nice because it's pretty calm.
Yeah.
Like any given day, even on like a really windy-ish day, I don't find it very difficult, but we're really lucky for having a lot of like parks and water places to escape to. I was thinking this past weekend about food, like concession things in state parks, and I'm always like, I wonder if like. Oh, see, now I shouldn't talk out loud. Again, just giving my intellectual real estate or ideas away freely on air. But like, there's something there. There's a gap. Like, there should be like maybe a picnic stand. Like, you can buy a boxed lunch for your fit. Like, sometimes I'm always like, oh, like it's lacking.
Yeah, like the concessions. I'm thinking like Platte River and Mahoney. It's just kind of like hot dogs.
Yeah,
and I guess. Mahoney now has, the lodge keeps having like changes in ownership of the restaurant. And there's a new one there I haven't tried yet. The new people who manage that kitchen. So I'm wondering if that's good. But yeah, like the convenient grab and go stuff.
Part of me is like, I wonder if there's a law. Like what if like food truck? Like part of me is like, there's some money to be made here.
Yeah. So that we went to a lake in Iowa, Lake Icaria, and it's like an hour from Omaha. I'm trying to think the closest town to it. But it's run by the county, so it's a county park, not a state park. But they have a food truck that's almost always there, like a different type of food truck, maybe like rotating things. So when we went there, it was barbecue, and then they have the lake, and they have a beach, and so that's where if you wanted to get food.
Right.
You head right there because it's outside of town. I wish I could think. I think it's Corning, Iowa, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's smart. Like, if you can bring your stuff camping with you, but sometimes you just
for day trips. Tired. Sometimes you're just and you don't want to pack. Yeah, like it's kind of nice.
You don't have like a campsite for the grill or for the fire pit, so you go and just. Food trucks. That's smart. Like I thought it was a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. I wonder. Maybe I'll look into that and see if there's like some state law or something for the park situation. Because like, how great would that be? Like even when the kids were younger, we'd go to Fremont Lakes all the time. I love that like some of their little beaches. It's pretty secluded. Not a lot of people go to them, but it's great. The water's great. Like it would be really great to just have. Some kind of like not concession stand, but like the availability to purchase food there because
now there is. I think there is. Fremont Lakes? Yeah,
cool.
I haven't actually purchased food from there.
Yeah,
but there's like a bar and grill type thing inside the park.
That's cool.
Near one of the beaches. And I think about it because it was a Nebraska passport stop at one point.
I got it.
I think so.
But I think like festivals, like music festivals, when they have those little like convenience like kiosks or huts, right? So you can get like sunscreen, maybe a bandana, and it's really reasonable, like Tylenol, like just things that you might forget in a day trip that you're spending there.
Bug spray.
Yeah, right.
In Nebraska, right.
But day trips.
And like, so food oriented day trips. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So, let's see. Well, it's not food; it's more drink. So
that
Brownville,
works.
We like Brownville.
Nice.
It's about an hour south of Omaha. Have you ever been to Brownville?
I have.
It's so like I went the first time I went. It was when they're like peak bookstore days. So the antiquarium had moved down there. Yeah. And they still have at least one used bookstore there. But it's a neat, very small community that embraces the arts in all forms. So they have like this awesome summer theater that goes on, and they present like a couple different plays. It's like a repertoire theater, so like it's all the same cast members that they're all summer.
Oh,
it's
that's
fun
cool.
And then like they have Whiskey Creek Winery is there. That's gorgeous setting. Like it's in this old barn, and just like they have an amazing lawn and patio that you can sit on.
Dig.
Yeah. And then they have like an ice cream shop there. And so it's got everything you want for like a little day trip.
Yeah.
So that's a great place to go if you like wine. I think of that place.
Yeah.
Or Ashland.
Ashland, I was going to say Ashland is so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hidden gem.
Like I love their main street, which I think is called Silver Street or something, but you can easily find it. But they have glacial till.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
I love it. And they serve food.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite place to go to eat in that area.
Yeah.
Plus have the cider.
And their tastings are great. Like their tours of it, like
I haven't done a tour there.
It's really cool. They're even at the farmers market. If you ever stop at a glacial till spot at the farmers market, they're so lovely and welcoming, but they're also so knowledgeable and open to the discussion. Like their flavor at the farmers market right now was like a blueberry one, I believe, and then just kind of people are just throwing different combinations at them because they're really, if nobody's had glacial till, they're my favorite, like literally my favorite.
Mine too.
Next to, I do love Schilling. Out of Washington,
okay,
I believe, or somewhere in the West Coast, Northwest. Okay. I do love Schilling cider; it's great. But Glacial Till is right up there with it, and they're just phenomenal. And their flavors, their combinations are just
it's very creative.
Yeah,
passion fruit,
so good. One. Yeah, it's like, and then the rhubarb. They have that rhubarb one.
I wonder if I've tried that or not.
Oh my gosh, like the caramel apple.
If you have a flight while you're there,
yeah,
that's a good way to try all the different things. And then I usually end up purchasing.
Always.
To go home with.
It's so good. It's not too sweet. It's just, and it's really great. That's Ashland's great. They've got really great like antiques,
cute shops.
Yes,
I love that.
And architecture. You can do like a nice little drive through the neighborhoods in Ashland, and a lot of the architecture and the material culture of that small town is just really
I had a friend whose mom came to visit, and they wanted like an overnight trip, and I guess there's like a really cute Airbnb in Ashland because there's not really a hotel.
Yeah,
and so it's a good Airbnb. It's a good overnight trip. Also,
it is.
Like we go there, so if we stay overnight in like Platte River State Park in a cabin. And we've done that with Mahoney, stayed in a cabin. But if we want to go out to eat or go do something, we go into Ashland.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to those areas.
It's great. That whole area between, like, you can make a whole day trip out of going just out of Omaha. Like, Ashland, there's, like, Sac Museum.
Right.
Cloisters.
Cloisters. What's there? But right by the Sac, you've got the wildlife safari.
Yep.
And the parks.
Yeah. The safari's great. I haven't been to it in a long time, but I used to take my kids there all the time.
Oh, I know. My daughter is obsessed with wolves, so we have to go there and see the wolves. And then we went, because last summer they had animatronic dinosaurs throughout scattered, which is kind of cool to see. Like it's creepy when you turn, like you drive through and you see like in the distance like a T-Rex. But in the summer they have more of Ice Age animals.
Yeah.
I think woolly mammoths and stuff. And I haven't been there to see that yet, but I think we're going pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's been
asking. Have to visit the family.
To go out with them or something. Yeah. So that is an awesome exit, like for people driving on I-80.
Yeah.
There's a lot to find there.
Yesterday, which is odd, and we're talking about day trips, staying in Omaha. I went on a day trip to just the mall with a friend.
Okay.
Like, and I don't know about anybody else, but like you really reach a certain age and you're the mall rat hanging out situation has not been part of my routine for a long time, right? And like you kind of go in, know where you're going to go and get out. Well, we kind of just had time, and it was such a great. There was like a ton of hours at the mall, and it was just
randomly popping.
It was fun, yeah. One of my great friends, like we tried on stuff and talked, but it was a really fun thing to do with one of my great girlfriends. Yeah, it was Westroads. And you're just like, we went into like so many stores that perhaps we wouldn't give that much time to because we're so focused on, got to go to Von Maur to get this, or I have to go to Dick's to get whatever, but we went into like Aeropostale, like Hollister. It was like this whole, like this just in and out of stores and it was just so fun. And I think that's a forgotten, or more so not forgotten, but I think we gloss over it a little bit. So like the outlets,
right?
It's a great day trip. And then
Crossing, that's the name of it.
Right. Yeah. And that is. Have you been out there lately? I love it.
It's been a little bit, but yeah, all the new stores, REI, and
and
there's gonna be a Lego.
Places.
Did you hear that there's Lego?
I heard,
and my kids are gonna spend so much money there.
My husband, right? You're like, great. Is it? Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
We did draw every bit. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's outlet. And it's a good one.
Yeah.
Like I've been to a lot of outlet malls, particularly on the East Coast. And they're all kind of,
similar stores.
Similar, but like the Nebraska Crossing's great.
Kate Spade and
right. Yeah. But and then they got that massive Marshalls out there.
I've been in there.
So they've got some of the standalone.
Yeah.
Bigger ones out there as well, which is like so great. They've done a really good job there. So that's another good day experience.
Right. Gretna. So or the whole county, Sarpy County, has got some little great day trip hidden things. Like once it becomes fall, Vala's is essentially a whole day.
It is.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Fontenelle Forest in Bellevue.
Oh, and their whole obstacle course and stuff. Yeah, there's so much to do there. You forget how much there is to do at Fontenelle.
Right. There's lots of trails. Like definitely could spend a whole day and like pack some food for sure. Yeah,
like Eli, they went on a retreat there not too long ago, and it's like good workout even, but like amazing team building or bonding activities, but also just like a variety of them. There's so much to do there. I have friends that go like leaf watching. What is that? There's a word. It's
leaf keeping, or maybe, or
it sounds
changing colors of the leaves.
Yeah, okay. And they'll go and they'll just try to categorize the leaves and like note differences at different times of like the season.
Okay.
I mean, cool.
Sounds particular interest, like
right. I want to make now train of thoughts going all over, but we went to, there's a neighborhood garage sale that we went to not too long ago, probably about a month ago, and I want to do a day trip or a day experience going around Sarpy County and looking at some of the storm drain covers.
Okay.
I know this sounds really random. Artist, I apologize, but I want to take some newsprint paper, like some plain newsprint and charcoal, or like some graphite situation, and go find all these different storm drain covers and do rubbings of them, because they're really awesome. Like around the city pavilion, they've got like ones with butterflies, and then there's ones with just different wildlife and like different fauna. But they're beautiful. So like we went to this whole. I was like, I was like, I need to really deep dive into this. There's got to be somebody geekier than me that's already been like, here's the map to all the really pretty storm drain covers that I haven't thought of yet. But honestly, like that kind of stuff, a little bit like those kind of day trips I like historical
Public
rubbings
art
of or like old graveyards.
Yeah.
The beautiful gravestones that are like so old, and I'm scared to touch some of them because I swear they're going to crumble beneath me. But doing like graphite rubbings of those and stuff, it's just really cool to do the rub. Like, do you know what I'm doing? Like talking about? Have you ever done that? Like, I remember
not with gravestones, but
maybe not pennies, coins.
Yeah,
people used to do
like Jocelyn in their fountain.
Yes. Yeah.
that area.
But there's like so many other things, like I said, storm drain covers. I swear, so cool. But like, or historical plaques, placards and stuff that people do rubbings of those, or just, I don't know, that kind of stuff really is stuff I like to do in a day.
Interesting.
Really fun.
All right.
I know there's so many people who want to join me on that trip.
We'll do like plan a tour.
Yeah.
Be the tour guide. But before I forget, while we were talking about Fontanelle Forest, they do kind of fun things for families, not just like programs, but they have like, what do they call it? It's like a camp almost, like it's a 3-hour or 4-hour experience. And they do it a couple times a year. And we did it in the winter one time. And so they take you, did we snowshoe? I wonder if we snowshoed part of it, but we went to like their archery range, and it starts at like Camp Wakanda is owned by or managed by Fontanelle Forest, and it's down in that area. And so it's almost like you get to do a couple different activities as a family.
That's
fun. Try archery and then learning about, we do like a hike, and they kind of point out things. And it was winter, so we'd look for like the eagles' nests and everything. And
that's cool.
So it's just a neat experience to be kind of in the day trip thing. It's it's further south of Omaha.
Yeah.
Another one that we have to do at least once a year, if not twice a year, again for my daughter at the Wolves.
Yeah.
But Scattered Joy Acres. So it used to be kind of like a farm petting zoo, and they were in Omaha. They were in North Omaha on this large property, but it became very popular, and they have a lot of animals, and they use it. The animals are also for like rehabilitative services, some of them. I think they're a nonprofit, but anyway, so they moved down south to Murray, Nebraska.
Okay.
And it's like down dirt roads, and it's a lot further than being in Omaha now, but it's worth checking out. So they've got, so that, again, like I said, wolves, but they have ostriches and horses and cows, and then and you can get into most of the pens, not like the ostrich pen or anything, but like they have a porcupine that is super friendly that you can get into that pen, and like it will, like I've seen pictures of my friends' daughters sitting on the ground with it on their lap.
A porcupine,
like huge thing, and it's just super friendly.
Cool.
But you can get up close to like all sorts of animals. So it's like my daughter's favorite thing to do in the world, because they have baby animals. Usually they're in like an indoor enclosure that you can go check and see how they are. And they look at Joey, and
I love that.
Yeah. So it's a neat random thing that's just in the middle of farmland in Nebraska now. And that is, if you have a kid like mine, it is a whole day.
Yeah.
Of just like going to each pen and sitting there and hoping something comes to you. And
yeah, that's awesome.
So that's a fun day trip. Let's see. So we've covered a lot of stuff south of Omaha.
We have.
And west. Do you do much day trips in Iowa?
Used to. But like from here to Des Moines. Like, I mean, like if I have to do something in Des Moines, not have to. If I'm doing something in Des Moines, particularly art stuff, it's usually like art festival or an opening or an event. In Des Moines, and I would make a day of it, and I'd go shopping at the Rack.
Okay.
That's a day trip.
Yeah.
The closest Nordstrom Rack is in Des Moines. That's a great day trip. Again, there's no Starbucks from here to. The coffee situation from here to Des Moines is
tricky.
And why? I still don't understand. I'm going to be talking about this until there's like 5 of them. Like, I do not understand why
there isn't actually.
It's the interstate.
Station.
Why is there no coffee shop?
Yeah, you have to kind of go into the towns, and they're not like drive-through coffee shops.
Right.
It's
so much like going to like a lake, preparing a picnic. Best grab your coffee before you leave Omaha, and then coming back from Des Moines. But mostly in Des Moines. I went to Kansas City. Kansas City is starting to become more of a day trip, which is
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. However, I'm like, when you do something like do a drive enough, you're just like, it's only 3 hours. It's only 6 hours out of my day.
That's how I am. Like where I'm like, I have a post on like day trips, or not day trips, but like easy getaways from Omaha.
Yeah.
And like I count like 6 hours.
Yeah. I feel like that's the max.
Do that for a weekend. I mean, it's a lot, but
we did it in a night. We went to the concert, drove to Kansas City, and then drove back right afterwards, which is like ill-advised.
Yeah.
Most times, but like 6 hours is a doable drive in a day. But so parts of Kansas City, like in between here and Kansas City, are kind of, I want to explore a little bit more because I've often thought about some of these little towns and stuff, and like I'll see some of the art, like buildings off in like the distance, and just kind of want to like deep dive a little bit into like the history of it. Or
so like I did a road trip last summer through northeast Kansas, and there are some pretty unique towns down there. I'm thinking what you would like. Oh crap, I should have just looked up like the names of these towns.
Yeah,
like there are some there's one that Paper Moon filmed us like a scene or two in.
Oh, cool.
And there's like just some random artwork that I remember seeing and just being like, oh, like I just for some reason looked up. I was at a stop reading like a sign and looked up, and it was like sunflower art above me. It was kind of neat to see. And there's a cool cemetery of really old cemetery, like off the beaten track.
Yeah,
Iowa's the state that I've probably traveled to most for my blog a lot, and then for letsgoiowa.com too. But that's in Southwest Iowa. It's got a ton of fun little day trips. Like Missouri Valley has a lavender farm.
Cool.
That is great for this time of year. Like July is when it starts to be peak time to go, and like you just go cut your own lavender.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get that info from you. Yeah,
it was cool, and I like just dried it.
Yeah,
use it for later. And the Luss Hills are like our favorite hiking spots. Yeah, along there. Hitchcock Nature Center.
Yeah,
in Honey Creek. That's super close to Omaha.
It is.
Like 20 minutes, maybe. Yeah. Like, it's great.
There's Ponca. I always forget about Ponca, too. I don't forget. There is Ponca. Yeah.
That we've made it as a overnight trip.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Their cabins are great. Yeah. The overnight's nice. Yeah. Since starting the podcast, and again, I'm a transplant. I mean, I've been here for longer than I haven't, but since we started this podcast, I mean, I really have taken notes on some of the things that our guests have said, particularly not even started, but like, I was like, okay, I have to do this and check off my list after the Bloody Mary Fest, because there's a lot of things. I'm just like, there's so many cool things that we have here that I think we just don't have time or haven't heard of. Like, it's you don't know, but it's now that we're starting to get all of these nice little tidbits from all of our guests. I really want to be intentional about making like day or night experiences.
They have such different interests. And so what appeals to them, they'll seek out, and then they tell us about it. And like, oh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, coming up is Jill and Brian had talked about it, and we will be having Brent on in the future, but the Best of Both Worlds day rave at 10 Forward. Oh my gosh. I look forward to it. And when they have it, I swear it's so cool to be able to dance to really great, because it's like great DJs, and then go home and make dinner and like do the night thing before you have to go on Monday, right? That I highly recommend that to anybody who wants to go dance. The one on the 30th is an it's an all ages one. It's usually 21 and over, right. But there's like a food truck. There's usually food. It's just a great time. Cool. I highly recommend that. But just little things like the different activity bars. Like, I really do love the intentionality of establishments now, like drinking establishments, or that the incorporation of food, but also like the like unique activities. There's like different trivia nights, even games. Like, they offer like board games that you can go. There's like all these little places that you can literally make a day out of. We did a date once where we made our own candles in Exarban. Yeah. And there's like over 100 something scents that you can, like, combinations. And I think you get to pick like 3 of them. So you get to like kind of like peruse the whole thing, and then you kind of sniff them and see what combinations you like, and then they help you, like you put the oils in and you pour the wax. You get to pick the container and the mold, what, you know, name it, like it's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun. Or there's the evolution of the paint parties. So like paint and like cork and canvas or whatever kind of situations where
stuff.
Right. So like people will do like different paintings of, you know, the Starry Night or whatever. But now there's that, and it's been a trend on social media, but they're now offering like paint your partner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen those videos.
Yeah. So some of the establishments in town are doing that. And I was like, oh, that would be so fun. But it'd be so fun as a family too to do something like that. So anyways, there's little pockets of those kinds of things too that you can't, I mean, it takes a good chunk of the day, you know, and a nice little activity, but yeah.
Cool. Let's see. You were talking about all these like kind of hidden gems that people don't know about that are within driving distance of Omaha. Did you know Lincoln has like a cave? And you can do cave tours?
I did.
Robbers Cave?
I haven't done it. I filmed there.
Okay.
Like, but I didn't get
above
to
ground, or did you get to go down?
I was above. Okay. But yeah, no. Tell me about it because I do. We want to.
So it's a man-made cave, and when you go on, you have to make a reservation to go on this like group tours. And the guy that gives tours, he is I want to say history. He's a teacher, and this is kind of like his side hustle or his not hobby because it's a job.
Yeah.
But so he just takes you through the cave and kind of tells you the stories, what's gone on down there, like what it was used for in different decades. And like, you know, it was a party spot for UNL students at one point, and live bands were played there. And so he just has all these great stories, and he carries around like an iPad so you can see pictures. People have sent him pictures after the tours and be like, oh, I was here when I was 18 or whatever, and they would have like pictures, and so he's got all these images to go with the stories.
That's cool,
and it's pretty neat. So I highly recommend that, just because it's unusual. Because like I felt like I've seen a lot of Lincoln, and then when we went to Robbers Cave, I was like, oh, okay, there's still a lot more to find here. So Lincoln's a good day trip or overnight trip because it's a big city now.
It's a big city. There's a lot happening there.
Let's see. And I'm just bouncing all over the place here because I was thinking another foodie kind of trip that a lot of people from Omaha make is to Master's Hand.
Yeah.
North. For their cinnamon rolls. But I mean, they have like a cafe, and they do like tea, like high tea kind of things sometimes, and fudge, but everyone wants cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
And so that's like, that's
the pole.
Yep. That's cool. You go there. You can shop. It's a cute, fun little shop. But
you know,
you always go there to eat.
Yeah, I heard that's great. I wish I could have it. Yeah. But if they could get some vegan situation there, that'd be great.
There we go.
One thing, which might not, again, my geekiness is really showing in this episode, but I discovered that this is a possibility when I had my program at Westside, but you can go to UNL and plan a day to kind of shadow or visit some of the different departments and have somebody kind of walk you through it. So like the culinary experience, or the hospitality thing, experience, Johnny Carson, production, and then the ag. That's the part I loved. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Johnny Carson was totally up. Like, we were filming for them in one point, so like it really kind of was my bag. But going to the ag part of campus, so they've got one of the most robust agricultural education departments. Yeah, in like the nation, and there's so many different things, like pockets of agriculture, engineering, and farming, and
so you just gotta go. Is it like you go into the classrooms, but they're kind of like working classrooms? Or?
Sometimes, yeah. So what I did was I called ahead and said, "Hey, I've got a bunch of students. I want to shadow. Like, I want to give them a whole day of different experience, so they can kind of maybe be exposed to different facets of university learning that perhaps they didn't think of, right?" other than the, mainstream path. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's really cool to see, to walk through and see the different branches of these different departments. And it's really, really cool and interesting. We got to go to Devaney. We got to go to like all of the athletics situation, but they got to see the different like kinesiology department and get really exposed to the offshoot careers or paths of learning that, again, perhaps they didn't really even think of. And that is actually a really cool day trip to kind of do with your old, maybe like teenage kids, even not, right? Like even as an adult learner or just somebody who's curious about like what's happening. Universities are a great public resource that I don't think we tap into enough to have those kinds of experiences.
Right. I mean, you can find really cool little museums and galleries in like not all universities, but a lot of the coolest places.
They have storm chasers. There's the department, like they have the meteorology. We got to ride along with storm chasers in like rural parts of like just outside of Lincoln, and talk about the technology that they use for like detecting storms and what goes into that kind of research. It's super, super cool.
It's like the only thing I know about the ag program at UNL is the ice cream, the dairy store.
Yeah.
Like we've been there and it's really good.
Yeah.
And like, I think, are you able to do a tour of that facility? Like, I feel like you can.
I think
there
you
are
can.
windows that you can see into.
Yeah.
But we went, it was a long time ago. And
you can. And you can do, speaking closer, well, first of all, in Lincoln, by the way, really off topic, but the roller skate museum, your husband actually pointed it out to me.
Right.
That the roller skate museum, the National Roller Skate Museum is in some corner.
It is. I have not been there. Like, I feel bad for Omaha. and all the times we've gone to Lincoln, I haven't.
I so want to go. I keep thinking about going there.
Okay. We'll go.
Another thing for, again, this is really random, but anybody who's getting into medicine or like a medical field, Bryan Hospital is one of only 3 hospitals or learning hospitals in the nation that has plastinate models. Again, it's taking a really interesting term, but again,
this is in Lincoln, right?
In Lincoln, we're talking educationally speaking. A plastinate is a actual human body that was donated to science, that was preserved for the purposes of learning.
Okay.
And so you actually, instead of a model that like of plastic or silicone that you see in a lot of other places, they're actual bodies that you get to see inside the cavity.
Okay.
Right. Again, this isn't perfect. Yes. I took my allied health and health science students there, but it's a super, super helpful. Like super. Like I was geeking out. It's really difficult. Again, this is just saying that there is that. There is that.
Okay.
I loved it. And a lot of my health science students loved it, but it's a cool thing that, again, resource or go to, again, niche, but it's there, right? And I don't know if a lot of people know that. So, like, if there's a lot of foreign or international students that we have come in to Omaha, Lincoln, and surrounding areas that perhaps don't understand that there is a resource that they can call to be able to have that for their experience, their educational experience. But that was interesting. Let's get off of that. Let's go back. Yeah. Let's go back to more family. Oh my gosh, that took a turn.
Yeah. I'm distracted now on what.
I know. I'm sorry. I thought it was super cool. I had no idea. And somebody at UNL told me on one of our day trips there, and I was like, what? And then I planned it and took some students there. It was great. Wow. Again, niche. Yeah. Not for everybody. Super cool.
In the medicine field?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Well, then there's like try the bodies of that art installation that comes to
Oh yeah, that did kind of remind me of it.
Yeah.
Talking about that bodies, I went and saw that where it's in just different layers of the body. So like there's like just the circulatory system on display.
Yeah.
Without the rest of the body, or just
Interesting.
yeah.
Again, niche. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've already covered some other like permanent day trips that we have in town. So like Luminarium, the zoo, the different art museums around, in the park.
We didn't really talk much about Council Bluffs.
No,
as a day
we didn't.
trip.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they have a squirrel cage jail.
Yes, you told me about that.
Yeah. So that's like it's a 3-story Lazy Susan jail essentially.
Oh my
gosh. And there's only they don't exist. They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
But you can have a tour, and they don't have it move anymore, but like you can go into the cells, and then you hear the stories, and you hear the stories about how it's haunted, and they have occasionally overnight stays there. You can do your ghost busting. But like Council Bluffs is just pretty cool. Like, so I'm trying to think here. So if you're into biking, the Wabash Trace Trail, that we've it's crushed limestone, so you want like not a road bike on it, but that's a manageable day trip. Like we've biked with the kids to Mineola and had like lunch and then biked back. It's totally doable.
Yeah.
Council Bluffs has Lake Manawa State Park.
Yes.
And they have a beach, and there's like an additional fee to go into the beach. And I haven't done that before, but although I've done a triathlon there.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Swam in that
That's
lake.
right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to swim in that lake again, but like,
I mean,
it's a lake. Lakes are lakes. So,
yes.
But I love the idea of having a beach so close to Omaha.
Yeah.
But there is an amazing playground.
That playground
near
is
that beach.
So good.
And my kids still talk about it. Like, it is phenomenal. It's huge, and they've got an area, like a large playground for younger kids. But then it's just, there's like a climbing wall, and they've got kind of themed little buildings that look like old-time Council Bluffs buildings.
Yeah.
And so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Even just walking over the Cary Bridge from downtown Omaha over to Council Bluffs to that playground right there. Is to
That's cute. Yeah, they've got like what is it, like it's not a stork, but like a pelican playground.
Yeah.
Like a spray ground, and
they've got like a great little like amphitheater, like seating, like
little events going
so
on
great.
there.
It's so and that's a great walk, and it's really it's really fun to take young people to be like, look, you have 1 foot in Iowa and one, that kind of thing, and then you go over.
I have to take a picture. Like, take a picture of my feet in both states.
Right.
It's cool.
And pace. So I every time I go to say it, it comes out wrong.
Potawatomi
arts
and culture,
entertainment.
Yep.
And great.
I've got theater, ballet.
That's
the culinary. Have you taken like a tour? Like see that kitchen?
Yes. So Vegetable.
Okay, yeah.
They used to work out of there. Now they have their brick and mortar in Benson, but they used to work out of there. Friend of mine works at is part of the operations there, but they're so well supported. I went to their event in last August, and the theater program for youth is I'm blown away. Like they put on a whole show, what's the word?
They do like almost like Disney Junior. So like some of the shows are
and
like Beauty and the Beast Junior. So it's
great. And the set, and they teach them set design. They teach them production. So like all of the different facets from like audio, sound to lighting and timing and script, script supervision. And then they've got people who teach them to sing and dance and costuming, but it is so well produced, and their culinary. It's so beautiful. That building is so cool.
It is neat. And so like a good time to go they have Fourth Fridays events.
Yep.
So if people are curious to go check it out there, it's in the evenings, and it's family friendly too. But I mean, or it's just like a cool date. They have McCormick's at bar there.
They do.
And then usually there's a gallery, so something's on display. Typically, it's
beautiful
arts, and you can peek into like different studios. Yeah, that's a cool place.
It really is. Yeah,
Council Bluffs is lucky to have. Have you gone down to like the 100 block, the historic 100 block?
Yes.
That's a place that people I think in Omaha might not be aware of. No. I'm like that is a really cool strip of bars and shops and restaurants where it's like you think you know Council Bluffs, but you've got to see.
You have to. It's really great.
It's cool.
Yeah. There are a lot of hidden gems in Council Bluffs. Yeah.
So I used to work there when I was at the Nonpareil, and so I get frustrated with people kind of having this, snobby attitude of Omaha versus Council Bluffs. And it's like I don't think people have gone into the heart of Council Bluffs. Right. Like you see the outskirts, and it's like chain restaurants and everything, but you haven't gone into like
It's not just the casinos.
Downtown. Right. It's not. There's so much more to Council Bluffs. So I would encourage that as a day trip.
100%. The historical aspect of it is cool. Just even that, just to do that block, just to hear it. Like I went with, the first time I went was with for a class. And the history of it is super cool. It's a river town. It's honestly, just like we were talking about how rich the history, the material culture history of Omaha. There's a river between us. There's such a rich and diverse, cultural stories in Council Bluffs and in parts of Iowa that are right on the river. It's
and railroading.
Yep,
like there's just
awesome.
The Union Pacific Railroad Museum. One there's like a free museum to visit.
Everybody should go to that. It's super cool
and it's great. Like little kids just adore it. And if you're into history, free.
Yeah, free.
Go see it.
And that's the thing. Some of the things that we've been talking about, a lot of them are free.
Right.
And state park passes aren't that expensive. And you get into, all of them.
Right. And then they have all these like cool events too that you can, as long as you've got the permit, you get in there for free. And then the event itself is free. So like we've gone like ice fishing. We've not really learned how to ice fish, but like they give you instructions on it. And this is like Schramm has a ton of little birding activities.
Yes, they do.
There's guided hikes. The first hike of the year, they always do it on January 1st.
Yeah.
And it's guided, and they plan all sorts of things that just try to get you out there.
Yeah. Fontenelle Forest has a moonlight hikes. Yeah. And I want to go. I have it on my reminders all the time. I want to go, and I think that everybody should go. If you like, what a cool thing to offer, I guess, in that kind of setting, because again, just getting out there, but at night, like if you're not a camper, but you really enjoy like the outdoors and that seems like something right up.
Did I ever tell you that I did like full moon kayaking?
You did.
Okay.
I love being on the water at night.
That was a surreal experience. And that's not like a day trip at all, but it was in,
it's a day somewhere.
North, for some people. So northeast Iowa, in Decorah is where we did it. And I don't think they offer it anymore. I don't know if that outfitter is still there, but they have a gorgeous river. And it's really like the full moon is just so bright if you get it on the right night.
Yeah.
It was, my phone at the time wasn't capable of capturing the pictures, but we were in a small group, and there was, I want to say he was from like Denmark or something, and we were talking about how I was writing about this, and his phone was amazing for capturing like these moonlight photos of us on the water.
That's cool.
And he shared them with me.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah, my photos. Yeah,
that's cool.
It was a neat experience.
We were talking about, again, going back to river stuff. I forgot about the Niobrara.
Yes, that's a good overnight
so
or like weekend for sure.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he brought it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Niobrara. Like, that's a great.
Right. Like, so you stay, like, if you guys have never done it, you can stay, like, in Valentine, or there are, like, some of the outfitters have campsites along the river. So, you just pretty much they'll bus you up the river, and then you just canoe or float
You can drive up. We used to drive to our campsite on the Niobrara and just cool, easy, awesome.
And then there's Smith Falls State Park.
Yep.
So you always have to stop and see Smith Falls.
Yep.
Such a beautiful waterfall.
Forgot about that. I'm glad it's kind of like we're close to the end of this episode, and I think that's
a
good one.
Like it's been a couple of years since we've done it, and it's such a beautiful part of Nebraska.
It really is.
You go through the sandhills, and then when you're canoeing, you're just like, wow, there's like
gorgeous
kind of these bluff type things and little trickling waterfalls that come from it, and you're just like, this is Nebraska,
right?
So definitely.
Sandhills. We forgot about Sandhills. We should talk about that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. Oh, I finally got to go tanking.
Yeah, you said.
So that it's all kind of near. Oh crud! Not Big Mac. What's the lake? Burwell.
Oh,
so we stayed in Taylor actually. Mm-hmm. And I think the cabins are still there. The cabins were a part of a brewery. And so it was cool to be staying at the cabins and you just walk down to the brewery.
That's cool.
I don't know if the brewery was owned by kind of a guy approaching retirement age. So he's retired. I don't know if anyone's taken it back up. But there are, Burwell's a cool little town, and there are outfitters that will just take you tanking. And that's, sitting in a big cow tank essentially and just floating. If it's possible to be even lazier than a tube float, it's tanking. Because you're just sitting there with friends, and you've got a seat because they'll have homemade benches pretty much.
Yeah,
just you could almost play cards or just sit there and just chat. And
I kind of did they offer T-shirts too? Did they have merch? I got so tanked.
Yeah. Oh, there's got to be.
Here we go again. Here, if you haven't made the shirts, make them already. Here, we're just going to give you ideas.
Yeah.
Let's get tanked.
Yeah. So Sandhills was cool.
Yeah.
And when we did that trip, there was a couple places where I'm like, I've always meant to visit.
Yeah.
So when we drove out to Burwell, we stopped in Scotia, and they have a chalk mine there that you can get a tour.
That's cool.
Happy Jack Chalk Mine, and so. It's another random. I like caves for some reason.
I do too.
I love caving.
Yeah.
And so there's one that's random, chalk mine, and it's and they'll tell you stories about things that happened there. Because again, it's in the middle, so it's not as Lincoln was very populated, but Scotia is essentially a fairly isolated community. Mm-hmm. So teenagers, when they have nothing to do, they just go, and so there's stories of parties in that chalk mine, and I think they did haunted stuff, they do a haunted house in there.
That's cool.
Creepy. But the Sandhills, it's pretty.
I dig that. I think the inspiration for the end to wrap this episode up would be to wander.
Right.
I mean, honestly, as cliche as it sounds, that whole saying of not all who wander are lost. 100%.
Yeah. And if I always get kind of anxious what if I go into a town and everyone stops and it's the record screech when you walk
that's
into
fun.
a place.
That happens a lot. Mm-hmm.
But so I recommend if you're not comfortable with just driving in a direction, but pick up the Nebraska passport.
Yes.
And because that runs from May to October or May to September. And then it gives you a reason to go into a town.
Yep.
You get that passport stamp, and then you just kind of walk around and see what else you find. And you usually find something pretty darn awesome.
And embrace the record scratch. If you stand out, let it be known that you're a tourist. That they don't know who you are,
right.
And they know that they don't know you. So it's just embrace it. Just go. It's kind of a license to
something pretty.
It usually does.
Spectacular.
It usually does. Because you're just okay, well, it's kind of nice.
City folk.
Yeah. So inspiration for this one. Yeah. Wander.
Wander.
Keep wandering.
I agree.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from Dee and I, keep on exploring.